Welcome, Libra. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your full moon in Libra, April, May, and June reading. For you, Libra in particular, I'm really folding these things together, although indeed we are still resonating with the full moon as I speak to you. And the energy of that full moon has been landing, particularly for those of you with Libra rising in your first house. This is your perspective, your mundane, active mindset as you go about all the tasks and activities of your life. So what I pulled for you is the happiness card. I'm aware that being happy means I'm on the right path. Because of the energy in the social environment we're in, there is a lot of exposure of information, the deeds of others, the powerful, the less powerful. This knowledge and information is moving many to specific action. However, for you, many of you, the action you're engaged in, which is destiny fulfilling for many of you, has not been prompted by a singular moment, even a current moment. You've been on the path you are on for a while. And so part of the confirmation of the rightness of your path is the joy that you experience. If you're experiencing joy, happiness, a sense of satisfaction and contentment, it has indeed been hard won. So we're going to talk about that. I've laid out April, May, and June cards. I'm using the archetype deck, my African Tarot, clarifying with the Crow Tarot, and I'll finish off with the Flower Oracle. So for April, we have the Tear. And I'm going to read from the guidebook, just so that you have clear information about the themes that are involved. The mourning, the release, the rain are all other names for the tear. And when I say mourning, I don't mean the time of day. I'm talking about grieving. Tears are droplets of letting go. Once they begin to fall, we allow the swelling tide of emotion to run its course. What's needed in order for a conversation or situation to break into the next level of intimacy and vulnerability. So powerful in softening our egos that they open up a portal to the unseen world. The ancestors catch a glimpse of us, and we're reminded of their eternal embrace. We allow ourselves to be held. When there's grieving yet to do, a sinking down into disappointment or despair that, once acknowledged, will bring a shimmer of clarity. So this is incredibly powerful because I do believe that many of you are tapping into your ancestry in some more and more increasingly powerful way. This may be the reveal of or clarity about a particular ancestor who you hadn't been aware of before, because I'm imagining that many of you have some kind of a spiritual practice, and it doesn't need to be meditation or any kind of religious or isolating practice. It is a moment of sacred time. It can be journaling. It can be following your dreams, tracking your dreams. It can be doing yoga, and you get the drift. Anytime you allow yourself time to be with yourself and yourself alone, you are engaging in a spiritual or potentially spiritual practice. The tear in April is clarified by two cards, the Ten of Wands and the Four of Cups. You have already psychically engaged in completing a series of obligations or responsibilities to others. In fact, you have really vetted your sense about fulfilling or complying to the expectations of others. And this often comes about through our families, our teachers, and you have released that. This represents the letting go that you may be mourning and grieving at this time. The recognition that you actually have a whole other set of beliefs and principles that are more reflective of your needs and desires. And in releasing these, you're giving yourself the space to recognize what supports you have developed for yourself, what ways that you've engaged in practices or in those relationships that see you, that value you, that feel good to you. And this idea of feeling good is important because your ruling planet, Venus, is really about giving and receiving in a way that is restorative, that feels good, that honors you, that brings you pleasure, that recognizes and loves you back. So this releasing is a part of replacing a lot of those shoulds with ways in which you've learned for you to find pleasure, joy, to express your gifts in a comfortable environment that is without judgment. And I'm going to clarify these two before I go on to April. So just 2 cards, please. And we have the Tower and the Devil pops up. And I'm going to take the 2 of Cups because that seems important. I'm really feeling like you have really disrupted the status quo. This can be for an environment, a community you work or are active in. This can be your family dynamics, but you have experienced some kind of crisis, disaster, unexpected event, something unpredictable, a surprise, something that didn't go according to plan, that is reinforcing and validating this move away from what others expected of you. So in that way, this is very liberating, but really is confirming the necessity to grieve what is being lost, what is being surrendered to, what is being let go of. This also can indicate that you're not fighting anymore. You're not concerned with the opinions or resistance of others to what you're doing. You realize that is not your problem. And this is really opening you up in a clean, very clarifying way towards this greater relationship with yourself. You are in connection with your higher self. You are in communication with that self. And that sense of self-respect, self-honor, self-attention, nurturing yourself, understanding you are worthy of the best first and foremost, of all the love that you have given to others that has not been accepted or received in a healthy way or reciprocated back to you for many of you is something that you intentionally give to yourself. This sense of deeper connection, a knowledge that when connected with yourself, you are able to accept your potential, not only accept it, but pursue it. And that attracts relationships that are capable of seeing you for your value, appreciating who you are and what you do, and knowing that you are an ally in some greater work beyond each of you. This is quite beautiful, and I'm excited for you. And this is something that is really blossoming in April. It didn't begin in April. This is really a long transformation that you've been experiencing, but it is resulting in some kind of deep or important, significant relationship for you. In May, the apocalypsis, let me find its page. And this reads, indicates a particularly painful time, one that unfolds when two disparate dynamics occur simultaneously, pulling the psyche in seemingly opposite directions. This means truths that have been kept in the dark are revealed, seen, and unearthed. No matter how relieving it is to witness them come into the light, an element of despair and grief follows. The second dynamic, the first is lifting of the veil, which reveals the truth. The second dynamic is the regeneration that comes from the wreckage of the revealed truth. Old narratives break and a new story forms, similar to a forest fire's devastation for the sake of regeneration. The veil lifts and we see who and what has been hiding. And from the nakedness of the truth, a child is born. Have faith in the process. Hold on to your center. That is the only way. So this is clarified here by the magician. Wow. There is so much about the energies that are resonating around your story in this moment that are uh, signaling a breakthrough. And there's a real sovereignty over not only who you are and what you're doing, but your vision. This vision has had to work through a lot of barriers, a lot of resistance from other people who are not always capable of seeing you for who you are. And that's part of the pain and the difficulty in this particular moment. This talks about May, but it's quite obvious that these kinds of changes can happen over years, may take years, but somehow, and I believe Pluto's movement into Aquarius in November of last year is helping to unlock a lot of this more global, increased global awareness. So the magician is focusing on a clear channel of expression that you are bringing together. You're bringing a project together. You are crystallizing your vision in order to provide the leadership that is necessary. You're the one putting all the pieces together. It's almost like you're the project manager of your vision. I'm going to clarify this with a couple of cards. 2 cards, please. The 2 of Pentacles and the 7 of Wands. Yes. Sometimes I peek and not a good idea. I truly trust in the guidance I'm being given. So the 2 of Pentacles and the 7 of Wands is talking about how difficult it is for you to make the transition, a fluid transmission from this really quite burdensome sense of responsibility and obligation from your past. There are many that could not and cannot let you go. And that can look like someone who just keeps wanting to talk you into a different position from one you hold. Someone who wants to keep talking about the situation or the problem. Someone who through their actions, or a group of people that keep wanting to review something where you've already made a decision, made up your mind, and it really is about them letting you know that they're not happy about this decision, that they think it's not right or not fair. However, you have long been to a point where you recognize even this ongoing discussion and haranguing and wanting to work something out is just a distraction from the work you see as your sacred mission, your gift's expression. You're not trying to fit into their idea of who you should be. It isn't even important to you. You can accept that they can't accept it, but you do not feel that you have to be obligated to witness their wringing their hands about why you aren't being who they want you to be. That is an ultimate I don't want to see it's a waste of your time, but it is not helpful, that's for sure. And it isn't really even helpful to them. You're really moving away the distraction, the uh, criticism, really, and negative feedback around what you envision because they can't understand it. They don't understand your path in general. And so this is what can be causing you high level of anxiety, stress, pain, because you feel you're empathetic to their position. Even if you are separated from it, you know that it is not your life or your beliefs or your experience. You still experience their pain through this inability to let you go, to release you, to do the work that you have determined to do. In June, the vision. Let's see if I could find the vision. Yes. So in June, the vision, the dream, the imagined, the revealed. We are each born with a unique mission, vision, a destiny toward which we are aimed. We forget this vision the moment we're born. Thus, we're sent on a lifelong journey of rediscovery. It slips away, yet it guides us. When we're connected to the vision, we carry an inspired, enchanted aliveness that others recognize. We trust the world and its synchronicities. We walk through new doors into wondrous opportunities. We all want to be near those with vision. Others want to be near you. They emit energy more potent than any elixir. When we lose connection to the vision, life becomes dull and exhausting, lacking meaning. Bring back the mystery, bring back the dreams. Look at art you loved when you were young, listen to old records and poems. These are all ways to activate the vision. And this is clarified by the King of Wands. Your whole heart is already long invested. It's as though you are living again through your vision. Everything about your gifts and talents finds a pathway towards this vision. You are thoroughly alive. And that inspiration inspires others, motivates others, much as it motivates you. You are not tired, you're not exhausted. Even if you're exhausted, of course, you are tired, but it's because you are so deeply energized by the vision that you are fulfilling here, that you are doubtless unconcerned about rest which you can easily gain, but you wake up clear about next steps each and every day. You eat, drink, and sleep your vision. Your whole body is resonant with this communal, collective vision you're bringing to the world, you're manifesting. This is your truth. This is information that is absolutely needed in the world. This is energy the world needs to grow and expand. You're eager to learn all the things that you can learn about this thing you are creating. And you're really being coached through or following through on the magician's energy here, the vision of your magician. I'm going to clarify this with a couple of cards and two cards, the Chariot and that looks like the Judgment. So, two very powerful cards that are really indicating in June you are following through on this sense of unique and original gifts and talents specific to your destiny, your purpose. This further reinforces that you don't have time to nurse the disappointment, the incomprehensibility or incomprehension of others. You're not concerned with what they think. You are who you are authentically, honestly, and you can communicate any aspect of your dream. However, you are not about wasting time retelling, restating, and beating your head against the wall when others are clearly unwilling to open up. That doesn't mean that everyone is unwilling to open up. Despite what many say, they're getting it. They're inspired because you're more than words. You are a vision, and that over time is going to be felt by others in your environment. So those that have been judging you falsely or unfairly are beginning to understand, even if they don't see the vision, that you are authentically driven by that. And this is framing your entire life's work. Doesn't matter your age. You can be young and be receiving this vision and clear path forward. But this, for many of you, is touching upon a gift that you've always possessed, one that has had various opportunities to be expressed in your life, but you're actually capturing that gift in a whole embodied way so that you are embodying your mission, your destiny in a way that's unique, that speaks to your purpose in the world, and that also accepts that others too have their own mission, whether they can see it or not. We all have our parts to play. And even in your playing a part that many don't get, you're still reinforcing and allowing them to see that there is a plan. There is a universal plan. You're fully conscious and aware of what your part in that is, and that can't help but to inspire others. So it feels like throughout the spring you begin to move very rapidly. You're having to fend off a lot of maybe looky-loos or those that just can't believe or indignant that you are doing this thing with your own resources, following your own guidance, your own wisdom, pursuing a vision. They're incomprehensible, but they're all feeling it, they're all aware, and you are impacting all of them. That is nothing to say about the vision that you are seeing. You're drawing people into that vision. I'm going to finish up this brief reading, Libra, with a flower oracle. And I've pulled the nasturtium, one of my favorite flowers. Here we treat them as honored weeds. So as they grow, because they're so beautiful and lush and have such beautiful leaves and flowers, we allow them to proliferate and cover up other weeds that are more pesty. And the key word here is grounding. The beginning is where you need to be. So this vision bears repeating, it bears announcing, it bears presentation to all the potential stakeholders that are or will be involved in the manifestation of your dream. Thank you so much, Libra. Until next time, namaste.